Hi everyone, I'm Emily Campbell, a VP of Content Marketing at Siege Media, and today I'm going to be talking through how to kick off an effective content strategy. At Siege, we've successfully kicked off over 50 content engagements, all while our team was rapidly growing from 30 to over 120 content marketers. We've learned some great lessons along the way that have helped us to streamline the operational side of kicking off content strategies, which has improved the results that we've generated for the brands we work with. My first tip is to focus on longer ramp timelines before you actually get started with content creation. This tip sounds simple, but it's actually been the most fundamental change that we've made at Siege that's really had the biggest impact on our ability to set an effective content strategy. For example, previously, our contracts would typically have us creating the same volume of content in the very first month of kicking off an engagement that we'd be executing throughout the bulk of the campaign. This was often non-optimal because it meant that during that key period where you're getting to know a brand and learning from each other's feedback, we were executing a pretty high volume of content from the get-go. Since then, we've swapped out our process for kicking off engagements and now instead have a multi-month ramp-up period with the first month actually having no content creation at all. Instead, we use this time to create and execute 3 core strategy docs that help set the campaign up for success. So we're going to be talking about that a little bit more later on, but first I want to talk about my second tip, which is to focus on written training and process documentation for your team. After we made the switch to longer engagement ramp times, we wanted to make sure that we had the best team in place and that they felt fully ready to take on any new content strategy engagement. This led us to deep dive on our existing training resources and focus on building out any holes we uncovered. With this shift, we started to build out a training library focused on standard operating procedure docs for pretty much any core competency that a content marketer at Siege needs to tackle. Some examples of topics that we included in this training library are things like how to build a KOB doc, or how to create a project plan, or even how to set a B2B strategy. And by having these documents in place, it was easier for us to onboard new hires and get them more confident executing a content strategy. In addition to written training materials, we also like to incorporate live training meetings to help our content marketers feel confident executing strategy and stay ahead of any industry trends. There's a couple of touch points that have been especially helpful for our team. The first is a weekly team meeting where managers run their team of direct reports through any content in the pipeline and use this as an opportunity to teach. The second is a management training meeting where senior leadership will distill process improvements and evangelize strategy shifts to distill across the wider team. And then lastly, our learning and development team runs through a weekly individual contributor training meeting where we go over common pain points that the agency is experiencing to help set the team up for success building content strategies. So my third tip for effectively kicking off a winning content strategy is to make sure that you're creating core strategy documents that are going to help set a great foundation for your campaign. At Siege, we have 3 documents that we create for every content strategy that we kick off. The first document that we create when kicking off a content strategy is our content strategy doc. This is a deliverable where we have our content marketing team deep dive on the brand that they're going to be working with and think about bigger picture strategy. This is also a great opportunity to think about site-wide tweaks that might be needed to help content rank better. And it provides an opportunity for the team to get really clear on the brand stylistically. Writing adds clarity to thought, and so having our team members spend time creating a tangible deliverable, they're getting extra clear on the tone and voice that they'll be using when executing content. My favorite part of the content strategy deliverable is that once you've created this, you now have a tangible resource that anyone on the team can reference. The second document that we create when kicking off a content strategy is our KOB research doc. This is keyword research that we do that focuses on high traffic value, low keyword difficulty opportunities. We actually have some great content on the blog that you can check out here if you're interested in learning a little bit more about how to create this. But essentially, our KOB research is extensive keyword research that helps provide clarity on what queries we as a team are going to tackle first to have the most impact. Lastly, we create our project plan, and this is my favorite document that we create during kicking off a content strategy, because you take everything that you've learned from the content strategy doc and the KOB research and you put it together into a tangible roadmap that you'll be referencing throughout the course of your engagement. We typically recommend charting out 3 to 6 months of content so you have a clear vision of what you'll be doing during your campaign. But of course, make sure to incorporate opportunities for timely or trendy topics that you may want to sub in to your content calendar, depending on your industry. And when you're scheduling out your project plan, plan to focus on topics that are going to have the highest ROI and also be the easiest to create efficiently. By focusing on projects that are scoped a little lower first, you're going to be able to push them through the pipeline that much faster and see results for your effort as quickly as possible. Another tip here, if you are working in a more technical industry, you can schedule out your project plan to start with introductory content first. Lastly, the project plan should be flexible, so while it will be your roadmap, make sure to adjust it along the way as needed, depending on your results. Once you have kicked off your content strategy by focusing on this first month without creating any content, then the fun part starts and you're actually going to start executing. And pretty quickly, once you have content live, you're going to want to start to see the results of your effort. Make sure to track those results based on the KPIs you outlined at the very beginning of your campaign. But for best results, wait to start reporting until your content has started to build momentum. For us, this is typically around 3 months after content's gone live. And by holding off on reporting, you're just ensuring that you're going to have the most robust and impactful story to tell with those reports. If you have a team or clients that's really eager to get information more quickly, have no fear. We like to send quick weekly update emails that show how the campaigns are progressing so that anyone who's interested can see that we're trending in a positive manner before that built-out report hits their inbox. To summarize, if you want to effectively kick off a winning content strategy, first, take content creation out of month 1. Second, plan to focus in on your written training materials so that your content marketers feel empowered to set an amazing content strategy. And then third, make sure you're implementing and using key strategy docs that will serve as the foundation and provide clarity throughout your campaign. These are the tips that have worked the best for us at Siege to help us set and create winning content strategies time and time again. Well, that's all I have today. Thanks so much for tuning in. I will say this is only the beginning. If you're interested in learning more, check out our blog where we have lots of great resources on content marketing and how to effectively set an SEO content strategy. Make sure to check it out and leave some comments below for additional tips and thoughts on how to effectively kick off a winning content strategy. Thank you so much.